Apple's growing like a weed. And as you know, we've always been in Cupertino. Started in a little office park and eventually got the buildings we are in now at the corner of De Anza and 280.
It is well known that the market for electronic devices is dominated by the tech giant Apple. Someone with the newest MacBook or iPhone is immediately seen as being in a different league. With few notable setbacks, the late Steve Jobs' business has grown significantly over the years in terms of both clients and quality. Has it though?
Buildings, not very good buildings either, at an ever greater radius from our campus.
In a recent official statement, Apple admitted that iPhone users will experience a slowdown when they update to the latest version of iOS 11. This validates the urban rumor that Apple intentionally slowed down older iPhone models to entice users to buy new ones.
Some iPhone owners say they want Apple to pay for slowing down older phones. The tech giant is facing multiple lawsuits after it admitted that it slows down older models.
This incident has hurt their loyal consumer base, but it's not the only secret the company has been hiding from the public. Some of Apple's dirty little secrets are revealed in this video, ready to be revealed to the world. Number 10. The pinnacle of tax evasion.
How many profits they're going to keep offshore, how they're going to bring them back home, using all kinds of gimmicks to avoid paying the taxes that should be paid to this country.
Apple allegedly uses a network of offshore companies to avoid paying billions of dollars in US taxes, according to some sources. In 2013, a US Senate committee found that Apple had evaded paying around $44 billion in taxes over 4 years. Apple has set up 3 companies in Ireland that retain over 60% of Apple's profits, but do not have a home country for tax purposes.
Used our earnings growth to invest billions of dollars in the U.S. to create even more American jobs. We're investing $100 million to build a line of Macs in the U.S. later this year.
Number 9. The Apple Police. The Worldwide Loyalty Team is an Apple-affiliated covert police unit. Protecting the privacy of Apple's products and avoiding leaks are its main duties. But Apple has often gone beyond what is regarded as a friendly and typical assessment. Everyone involved in the production of a product at any point in time is required to submit their phones for examination. In a video of action outside the Apple building, the loyalty team posed as San Francisco police officers and searched the house for an iPhone prototype. As you can see, iPhone slowdowns are only the beginning. Who knows what dark secrets this business is concealing?
It's been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. You solved this. It turns out we have solved it. We solved it in computers 20 years ago.
The next time you're thinking about buying an iPhone device, consider the espionage you are supporting and Apple's dark secrets that could affect you directly or indirectly. Number 8. Not a jolly fellow, Steve Employment. When it came to managing the business at Apple, Steve Jobs was a shrewd entrepreneur. Jobs routinely embezzled money from his friends and business associates. After defrauding co-founder Steve Wozniak of a $5,000 payment in the early days of the company, he denied stock options to another buddy, Dan Kotke. In 1997, Steve returned to oversee Apple's operations, ending all of the company's philanthropic endeavors. Even though he amassed a $7 billion fortune, there is no proof that he was involved in humanitarian endeavors until he died in 2007. Number 7. Eye slaves? Apple has often come under fire for prioritizing worker health and safety over producing better products. In 2010, there were 14 documented suicide deaths among Foxconn workers, Apple's Chinese manufacturing company. Reports have often likened the working conditions to labor camps. At least 10 employees have been diagnosed with a rare blood cancer caused by chemicals used in the iPhone's manufacturing. Number 6. A sign of mysteries. Apple's Bitten Apple logo has been criticized ever since it was first used in 1976. The initial logo was a rainbow apple with a bite out of the right half. The comments of a former Apple executive made it clear that the logo was meant to represent something dark. The original sin of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Good and Evil was linked to the logo. The logo can be seen as either anarchy or a pursuit of knowledge. Number 5. The Apple method of developing the upcoming big product. Despite having thousands of employees, most of Apple's products are first developed by a small group of 15 or 16 designers sitting around a kitchen table. This is the case based on the testimony of Christopher Stringer, an Apple industrial designer who was the first witness summoned in the well-known patent trial between Apple and Samsung. All Things D reports that Stringer stated in his testimony, "We'll sit there with our sketchbooks and trade ideas." Therefore comes the genuinely harsh, brutally honest criticism. Number 4. The marketing of Apple. During the Apple-Samsung lawsuit, SVP of Marketing Phil Schiller stated that Apple employs internal criteria to determine how many new iPhones are sold. Each new generation sold almost equal to all previous generations combined. That sentence was lifted from The Verge's live blog.
I think that's true. I think that they're culturally doing amazing things. They're just fascinating people doing things that impact our lives. And there's no part of our life that isn't touched by apps now.
Schiller said in a tweet from CNBC reporter John Fort that it was an internal joke. As a result, it is unlikely that Apple will use this number to determine whether the iPhone was a success or a failure. However, it still provides an interesting benchmark to use when assessing the iPhone. Using the statistics, Horace Dediu looked at how Apple's iPhone sales have changed over time and what has to be done to improve with the next iPhone. We will call it the iPhone 5, as most people do, even though it is the 6th iPhone. For the first 4 incarnations of the iPhone, Apple sold the previous models with ease. The iPhone 4S and the future iPhone 5 seem to have a far harder time with it. According to the chart in this post, Apple has only sold over half of the iPhone 4Ss that it needs to sell to meet its cumulative sales target. If sales of the iPhone 4S continue for the foreseeable future, Apple should be able to reach that milestone. Dediu claims that to reach the same target, Apple will have to sell over 263 million iPhone 5 handsets. Dediu doesn't think Apple will hit that number. Number 3. Apple didn't spend any money on advertising for the original iPhone. Schiller testified that Apple initially chose not to spend money on advertising following the release of the original iPhone. "We didn't have to," he said.
The iPhone 5S is a huge leap forward in mobile computing performance. It starts with a brand new system on a chip from Apple called A7.
It is ridiculous for a company to manufacture components like capacitors and general-purpose chips. This also applies to easily integrated parts like cameras. Why not buy a high-quality product from a company that makes those, instead of spending vast sums of money on research and development to catch up to the competition, just to have that company outsmart your design? Number 1. Apple's easy formula. Apple is renowned for its innovative products, fashionable accessories, and of course, its massive profit margins. The last point remains true with Apple's iPhone 6, for which the company is charging over 3 times the cost of manufacturing and componentry. The most expensive component of both devices is the touchscreen. Along with size, the iPhone 6 Plus's main selling point is its improved camera, which has optical photo stabilization. Compared to the iPhone 6's camera, which costs $11, that costs $12.50. The expenditures involved in producing a single iPhone are not accurately depicted by the figures. In addition, Apple has to pay for marketing, software, shipping, licensing, and other costs. Even after accounting for all expenses, Apple has huge profit margins. The company's gross margins increased from 36.9% in the same period last year to 39.4% in the most recent fiscal quarter. This also applies to its iWatch, iPad, and pretty much every other device it makes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts. Hit that bell icon to stay updated on our latest uploads. See you next time.